So I was going to post something completely different, but I feel like this needs to be said. And it's going to take me some time to get this out, so bear with me. I want to talk about my own experience with disordered eating. Now, when I say disordered eating, I am not referring to a diagnosed eating disorder. Okay. But that does not mean that that's not what I experienced, if you understand what I'm saying. I didn't get a diagnosis. It was something that I hid pretty well under the guise of being healthy and trying to eat better. And it did not serve me or my health. That being said, let's get into it. So, my own experience with disordered eating was something that started very young. And I would say I was about 11 years old when it started, when I started dieting. I was raised in a vegan household and grew up eating a plant-based diet. Never ate dairy or anything like that until I was probably about 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. And I was already struggling with my weight prior to that. Um, I remember I was probably, I would say about 9 years old, right around the time that I first started hitting puberty, where I noticed people talking about my body, like adults talking about my body, about how I was putting on weight, about my shape, etc. And I decided at that young age that I did not like my body and I did not want to be in my body and that I had to change it. And it was especially important in my young mind that I get my weight under control before I'm old enough to start my period, because at that point, it's all over. Like, I'm just gonna blow up and be like some giant obese monster of a person. So that's where my head was at that age. Um, so I started dieting. I would basically go without eating for long periods of time and limit my calorie intake. And what fucking 11-year-old knows anything about nutrition and dieting? So this was like something that I became obsessed with for pretty much the majority of my life. I spent my entire 20s dieting, my teen years, my 20s, my 30s, up until a few years ago. And at that point, I just like gave up. I was like, this is never going to work. I'm never going to lose weight. It didn't matter how much I dieted, how much I calorie restricted. I mean, I was literally living on salads for years. And then I would get so hungry all the time that I would finally snap and like binge. And that was my cycle. Starve myself, severe calorie restriction until I snapped and binged. That was how I spent like 30 years. It's completely insane thinking about it now. So when I was like, it actually started during COVID. I decided I was just going to give up on dieting and just let my body be what it is and focus on just trying to love myself because I didn't. I really didn't. And when I did that, I also made the decision that I needed to start nourishing myself because I was having so many health problems at that point. So that's what I did. And in doing that, I found what foods were not working for my body, which ones were making me sick, and I eliminated those. I cut out the foods that were making my joints inflamed, that were causing my IBS symptoms, that were making my hair fall out, making my skin a mess. Like, I was a mess. And when I did that, the craziest thing happened. I dropped weight like crazy. I lost like probably 60 pounds. I had stopped weighing myself. Um, but I know that I've lost at least 50 pounds plus and put on muscle. So I think it's right around like probably 60 to 65 pounds that I've lost of body fat. So yeah, that is a significant portion of my wellness journey and why I am so why I feel it is so important to teach other women how to love themselves and take care of their bodies and how to move away from the disordered eating that society has pressured us and taught us is the right way for us to be in order to lose weight, to look good, to be healthy, and all that other insane bullshit. So that's my story. Um, if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them, and I will answer whatever I can. Thanks for watching.